Is your HVAC air control not responding whenever you change the knob? Mine's been doing that, so I'm going to try to fix it. Sometimes it'll get hot, sometimes it'll get cold, and sometimes when I turn the knob like this, it just won't do anything. It stays on cold the whole time. For a couple drives, maybe then in the middle of the drive it'll flip over to hot, and vice versa. So there's definitely an issue here. I'm going to run the self-diagnostic test with the air unit. So what we're going to do is ensure the fan motor is off. I'm going to hold the recirc and defrost buttons while I turn the ignition to on. And then once the AC button lights up, I will let go. And then it's going to run a self-diagnostic test. If there is a trouble that it finds, it will blink a code in the recirc button here, light. However many times that blinks is your reference to the code. And I'll link those codes in the description below. So hold those two while we turn the key on and let go. And it's going to cycle through the self-diagnostic test. And when the AC button turns off, we know that self-test is complete. And then we'll see if it gives us a code. Right now it's blowing air out of the vents, even though the fan is turned off. There it is. So we do have a trouble code. Now we need to count the number of blinks. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That test showed a trouble code of 7, which if we look here on the threads, you'll see that a 7 indicates an open in the air mix control motor circuit. The first code I received was a 9, and a 9 is a problem in the air mix control linkage, door, or motor, which I know is my original issue, because what I had done was removed the original control module a couple days ago whenever I was trying to diagnose this and get the part ordered. So it's on hot. I'm going to turn it to cold now. You can see it move a little bit. If I go all the way back hot, like that, it doesn't move. But if I kind of bump it to get it started, then it'll go. See there? So something's definitely sticking. I'm going to try to pull out the control right here and see if that's bad or if the linkage somewhere or another is binding. After removing the actuator or electric motor, whatever it's called, that connects to this linkage up here, I can move this thing by hand freely. So I know that it operates correctly. That's heat there, I believe, and then all the way over to cool. It's hard to get a full shot of this, but it appears to be working just fine, the linkage. And what I've done here with the motor is tested it, and if there's just a little bit of pressure on this arm, whenever it's given a signal to move, it won't move. So I believe it's just about burnt out. So we're going to go ahead and replace this and see if that fixes the problem. So my original test was a 9, which showed a problem in this motor. I have ordered the replacement unit. This is the factory one here, made by Denso. And the replacement I ordered is Mocha, made in USA. I'll put these links in the description as well. And you just get this unit yourself here. It does not come with the self-tapping screws. There's 2 screws that come out of the original one. They are either 7mm, 7mm socket or Phillips head. And you may need both because it's a odd angle getting to the one in the bottom left corner. This mounts against the side of the unit like this. You'll see when we get it up in there. So there will be a top front screw, and then there will be a back lower left screw if you're looking at it from the driver's side of the vehicle. So 2 screws that you'll reuse from the original unit to go ahead and install the replacement. We're going to remove this knee panel here underneath the steering column. It just has these 2 turnstile nuts holding it in, just a quarter turn to the left. Then it may fall down on its own. If not, you pull down and then you just drop straight down. So you have these 2 notches that go up top, and then these little turnstile quarter turn pieces here that hold it in. Now we're going to remove this bottom black piece. So essentially all this is going to do is just pull straight down. There's a push clip over here, and there's another turn, one of those turnstile here. So you turn it quarter that way, and so you can pull straight down on it. And then on this side, you're just gonna kind of pull straight down like that. You can see this clip right here in the corner. This push clip goes up in there, and then it just sits in a white bracket back here that just slides in. So you're just gonna slide it straight out like that. Now that we have some access underneath, we are going to take this fuse panel or fuse block. We're just going to lower it down out of the way so we can get up in here to that piece. There's just one bolt right here holding the fuse block in. So whenever we remove that one screw or bolt, the fuse block is just held up. You'll see here in this bracket, there's 2 straight brackets on either side, and it just slides straight down out of there. This is a 10mm. We'll just remove this one bolt that holds it in. And then we'll just pull straight down on it, and it'll come out of that bracket, and it'll just hang by all the wires and everything. Just let it hang down here out of the way so we can get in up here above it. That green 7-pin connector right there is what goes on to the control motor before you connect it to the linkage up here on the side of the heat box. What I'm going to do with this new unit is plug it into this connector and cycle it a couple times and see if it behaves the same way as the original one did, as far as not turning with a little bit of resistance on it, or if it acts properly. And as you can see with the plug here, it only plugs in one way. So once you get it plugged in, it should be working properly. This is your steering column right here. Just to the right of it, this metal bracket, this is where the fuse block slid down out of. It's just 2 sides that hold it up. So now that that's out of the way, get in here behind it. We'll grab this plug and plug it in to the unit. It only goes in one way. And we'll test it out. Okay, the new unit is plugged in. It's just hanging there. And we're going to turn the air temperature from all the way cold to all the way hot. You can see the actuator turning there. Looks like it goes full range, which is good. It stops there. If we go back just a little bit and stop, that's a lot better than the old one was doing. I'm just going to try to hold a little bit of resistance while I turn the temperature control knob and see if it freezes up like the other one did. So it's all the way on cold. I'm gonna hold my thumb on it, turn it to hot, and it's pushing my finger pretty tough. So it's not holding still like the old one was, which is good news. So the old one was just burning out, and I believe we have the fix. So now I'm going to put this all the way to hot, where it stops there. Then I'm going to turn my key off, unplug this unit. No. And I know that with this control up here, that if this little silver pin is all the way to the front towards the motor, I know that is hot for the motor, or for the, I know that's on heat for the interior. So if I push this forward like that, I can get it all the way forward so you can see it. So that's cool. That would be cool right there. And then push this all the way forward till it stops, is heat. So now whenever I go to hook up that new unit, the pin should line up because they're both set to heat. The plug is going to face down, and the back side of this spindle right here, the white piece, is going to be towards the inside of the car. You may have to move this linkage over here, see, just a little bit, in order to get this peg to line up in it. But there's two screws that hold this in place. One of them is on this little tab, this little ear that sticks out right there, and it goes in that hole right there. So if we can get that tab lined up over that hole and get this arm in the unit in the linkage, then it will be lined up. So something like that right there. There, that felt like it went up against the hole right here to hold it. And you see the little arm is inside the linkage over here. So one screw goes in here, and then one screw goes in the down here in the far bottom corner. That's the challenging one. So I think we got it stuck in place here. We just need to get our screws started. I finally got the replacement part installed, and that was by far the most challenging part, was getting those two screws in and getting them started. I wish I could have videoed it for you, but up under this dash, there just isn't enough room for the phone and the light and my hands in order to capture it. But what I did was I used a small 1/4 inch ratchet and 7mm socket with an extension. I used an extension on the bottom piece there against the back, because right there, because the head of this ratchet wouldn't go up against the firewall. So I had to extend it back a little bit with a extension. And then I took the extension off and just used the socket for the top portion there, the top front screw. And what I had to do was, jiggle it around a little bit to get those screw holes to line up. And it's so hard to turn around and get up in there the right way. What I eventually had to do was pull the connectors out of the back of this fuse panel. And I just took those wires, all the connectors here that come out of the back of this panel, I just basically pulled them back up over this side of the steering column and tucked them up in behind the brake pedal to keep them out of the way so I could work. So I just need to plug those back in to the fuse panel here. All right, now that the fuse block is all plugged back in, I'm going to go ahead and test it. So currently my temperature selector is all the way on hot. So I'm going to rotate it to cold now. You can see that there, all the way to cold. I'm going to go back all the way hot. Okay, I'm going to go halfway, all the way cold. I'm just going to move it back and forth here a couple of times, working it just to make sure it's working properly, which it appears to be. So this repair is done. Now I just need to reinstall the fuse block up in that metal bracket with the one bolt holding it in, and put the trim pieces back on underneath, and it's good to go.